Greetings everyone, Josh here. I am posting this video on the day after the full moon of April 2025. So a day into Reth Monath, the month of noise, of clamor. And I think we call it this because of the springtime winds and the thunder and the rains and the emerging sound of all of the plants waking up and pushing through the detritus and the insects and the birds all waking up. There is noise to this month and to this cycle if we quiet down enough to hear it. So the reason I'm coming to you today is to invite you to participate in our 2025 24 Bioregional Plant Allies Challenge. I know that's a mouthful, but really, this is just a fun way for us to intentionally go out and engage with the plants who grow where we grow, to get in touch with how many green allies we have growing, sometimes literally right outside of our doorstep. So here's how this is going to work. There is a downloadable sheet with some rules and some space for you to write out your plans as part of this post on Patreon. I am publishing this video publicly, so folks who aren't part of our Patreon group know that we're doing it and can come over and join in. And you can print that little PDF out and use it as a guide or use it digitally or whatever. But basically, there are 4 invitations to find 4 groups of 6 plants each, which means that by the end, probably of midsummer, you will have found 24 plant allies that you will be able to confidently identify. You will know their names. You will know that they are edible for most people, that they have existing herbal monographs or existing herbal lore, that they're generally regarded as safe for most people. And you will know them and you will be in relationship with them, and you will have essentially your own personal materia medica that is bioregional, that is specific to where you live. And this is the most important way to do this work. So we're going to start doing this challenge every single year, and there's no time limit. Some folks, live in climates where it's going to be June or July before they can really connect with this many plants, or before it's warm enough or safe enough for them to do one of the groups, right? So here are the 4 groups of 6. The first is the 6 plants that physically grow closest to where you live. And I mean literally where you live, your house, right? So starting from your front door out, identifying the 6, again, edible, have existing monographs, can be confidently identified. Those are the rules, and the rules are on the download, right? So we're going to start with those ones because they're the most important. They're the ones that see you coming and going. They're the ones that are sharing space with you. They're the ones that are warding space for you and engaged in really a lot of intimacy, right? And one of the herbs is that, or one of the rules for the herbs is they can be native plants. They can also be invasive plants, because we should know invasive plants, right? They're the ones that we can harvest more abundantly. They can also be plants that have been intentionally cultivated, but one of the sneaky rules for this year's challenge is even if they were cultivated, they now need to be growing on their own accord. So let's say that 4 years ago you planted a lemon balm plant, right? And now that plant just kind of does their own thing. They come back every year, they spread around, they move around. That plant counts. But if you go and plant some calendula flowers this year, they don't count, right? Because you cultivated them and they're growing where you put them. You got to wait until they're kind of doing their own thing. They're coming back on their own accord, right? We want plant autonomy here. So first group is 6 herbs that grow the closest to where you literally live. That's our first 6. The second group of 6 are the 6 ones that grow the most abundantly where you live. For a lot of us, that's going to be trees, right? Like where I live, it's going to be linden. So you now have to expand that list, and ideally you're going to challenge yourself to pick 6 different plants, to find 6 plants, 6 trees that grow everywhere where you live. You can't go on a walk 2 blocks in any direction without encountering one of those plants, right? That's cool. The third one is plants that you have a personal connection to. Reconnect to the plants that you already know, that you can already identify. A lot of us have that first plant that we were like, oh, that's mullein, or oh, that's this plant, right? Reconnect with them. Put those 6 on your list, those 6 that you've already sat with, you've already journeyed with, you've already studied, you've already maybe harvested and made medicine with, right? Reconnect with them. And then the fourth group, which I've never done before, is 6 plants that require a little extra effort to get to. So this means that you have to travel 3+ miles from your home to find them, or you have to do some hiking, some climbing. Maybe you need to bring a backpack. Maybe you've got to plan ahead in order to get to where they are. Now, if you have some accessibility issues, you can either use that as part of your challenge and say, okay, what for me, being somebody who uses a wheelchair, or for me, being somebody who has some visual impairment, what for me is a plant that requires some extra effort for me to get to? Or you can just scrap this group completely, as we've done in the past, and just focus on the other ones. Maybe you do 8 in each group instead of 6, right? So we're still going to challenge ourselves to do more. So there is a downloadable PDF. It's very simple. It's 1 sheet. It's got the rules and it's got a space for you to put 6 plants from each thing. And most importantly, there's now a chat group on our Patreon. This is open to every level, right? So even if you are contributing, we call it the coffee level, right? The $3 a month, you can participate and you have access to the chat room. If you want to go all in for $18 US a month, you get access to all of my content, everything from the past, everything from the present, everything I'm going to do for as long as you're contributing, and that's awesome. And in that chat group, we'll be sharing new plants that we find, old friends we're reconnecting to, and I will be, along with all of you, posting little challenges like, if you were to find a bioregional plant on your list that you could work with in a ritual of protection, which plant would you choose? If you were going to pick a plant from your list of 24 or from the 6 that you have now that you would turn to if you thought a cold or flu was settling in, which one would you turn to and why, right? So we're really going to flex our muscles. We're really going to challenge ourselves to engage with the plants that never go into a plastic bag. They never get onto a UPS truck. They never get onto an airplane or a boat. They never get irradiated or sulfured in order to cross boundaries. And they never get marked up, right? They never cost money. So this is so cool. This is the old school way of doing herbalism. And I have feelings about this. I'm very excited. My heart leaps thinking about all of us connecting to new and old friends and really regaining the wisdom of the plants who grow where we grow, who share the soil that we walk on every day, who breathe in the same air and soak in the same sun and really experience the same patterns and energies in the place where we live. So get over to Patreon, get in one of the tiers and get into the chat group, and let's do this. It starts now. You can start whenever you're ready. See you there.